the team, just because Atlanta don't really like to play sub-base. 6-star search and destroy, they are trying to work on it. That's why they continuously are throwing in the series. But the only difference is now, you called it to perfection, my friend, is that game number 5 in Karachi S&D. Atlanta FaZe don't usually play it, so hopefully they're able to answer the call shortly. But more specifically, the Gorillas need to come out swinging.
Yeah, absolutely the case. This is also just important to note that Flames was not on the roster last time these two teams had played. Assault was playing with them, so maybe something to be said about what Flames can do versus another top squad here in the CDL late in the season. Fame looking over towards bottom server, gets a pretty decent look at Atlanta, but yeah, this is already better, I'd say, for FaZe overall. They're putting pressure on the P2 side, and they've got some good time happening here on the first hill.
Yeah, if you think about the last time FaZe played this map versus Carolina, they realistically, bigger picture, sort of choked it in that map number 1. So trying to right the wrongs here versus a team in LAG who did tend to struggle a little bit versus Miami. Both the ARs put up a .75, and you can't have that on the map like Subbase where all the AR positions are so powerful.
Well, here we go. A little back and forth at the opening and back time of this first hard point, and LAG will not just get a little bit of the scrap time, they do recover the favorite side of the map going over towards P2. So good control here from the Gorillas. Now it's down to receiving the first attempt of a break for FaZe, and they're just waiting for picks at the moment. I mean, you got players up top, up down, low, trying to find some sort of an entryway, and with Estriel dropping, here comes the hit for Atlanta.
Yeah, they're all pushing through that front side. You see that now Estriel is going to spawn all the way across the map. Diamond Con is going to be right there alongside with them. So Atlanta FaZe have been able to successfully flip the spawn, just not leading to any hill time so far, as the dynamic duo of Fame and Flames do this bottom comms area, just keeping the hopes and dreams alive for LAG to not give up any time and still contest this to the end.
Yeah, I mean, winning the rotation rather, but losing the time isn't going to feel great, but at least knowing that the spawns had flipped, you mitigate a lot of time that FaZe could have possibly found. It's really just back 20 that Atlanta's going to be able to work with here. And you take a look at the minimap again as we start to look towards rotation. LAG are once again going to be set up first. The BZ decent shots can't quite finish the kill. Good team shots coming through for LAG, and yeah, they're going to hold on to the favorite side just as the second hero starts to fade away.
Yeah, and it's playing super aggressive through the middle of the map as well, so hopefully someone's going to play a little safe, back up to block that back spawn. But now Atlanta FaZe rallying the troops to try to push through the front side of Warehouse. They're sending 3 players on that side. Draza working the overextension. He gets cut down, and they haven't been able to pass that 50-yard line yet. Every single player from LG who had at least contested them is keeping them away from this hard point.
Yeah. Okay, well, here comes an opportunity for Atlanta. Try to move around the back sim, be able to find the first shots there. Abizi also working in from the backside, leaving Estriel by himself. Good for the first, lots of damage in for a second, but can't win the gunfight versus Draza. Spawn still good for LAG though, 25 seconds to fight. Flames get caught through Warehouse, but still, LAG pick up decently on the hard point.
Yeah, this is perfect. A perfect response right here from the Gorillas. You don't really allow them to get a lot of time there at P2, and you chain it basically to a almost perfect full 60 here at the P3. Now with only 10 seconds left, someone has to start hitting a route, and it might fall into the hands of Flames, who already puts himself in a position towards top comms. He's going to be able to spot Celium, also spots the trophy. Such a big kill if he can find it to open up an avenue for them to attack.
Oh, you've got Navizi working in through mid-map, but here we go. Any kill for LAG may start to influence the spawns for Atlanta, and that's already the case. Simple spawn up behind the play, but from the front, Atlanta doing nice to at least hold off this LAG break attempt, and with that little backup from Draza, he gets the anchor to bring his teammate spawns with him. So good recovery here from Atlanta, considering a little bit of diciness early. LAG still working on the break attempt, though, and Celium's going to get overwhelmed, mostly from behind. Abizi can really only do so much from this back house, and as he gets taken down, the break is good for the Gorillas.
That was perfect. Every single player on LAG found a one-on-one gunfight to execute that break, to flip the spawns, and now walk away with this final 25 seconds. Just keeping that lead in their favor. Now, if you are Atlanta FaZe, you are forced to cut your losses, hit that early rotation over towards New, but you already have players from the Gorillas in those positions cutting them down. Now you have those warehouse spawns for this P5. This is not the ideal situation Atlanta want to be in.
3 in a row for Flames. Trophy system to reinforce his position, top Warehouse. Rotation already won as well by LAG. The only one in their way would be Celia, but he hasn't revealed himself, at least not as of yet. Now he finally makes his play for the hard point, only gets 1. Flames able to pick up for his 4th kill in a row. Now unsure of where the next hit is going to come from, as Atlanta's got a staggered spawn at the moment. Abizi able to shut down the spree of Flames up top, and with that, the hard point still being contested for.
Yeah, they're just hoping that Abizi can find a couple more, because the rest of the teammates haven't been able to get past that Warehouse setup out of the Gorillas. Now it leads to a clean 3 dead. All of Atlanta coming off of the respawn. Farthest player is going to be Draza. He's only able to take down 1, and that is that hill player. But you're instantly going to be able to reinforce the numbers back over to the control. Now it's only 20 points here. You're going to put yourself up by 60 points. And Atlanta FaZe just need to stop the bleeding. You need to be ahead of this game, at least in the rotations.
I mean, the objective focus for LA has been near perfect. Honestly speaking, you look at the macro of how they've played the map to this point, they have been essentially first to every hard point you've had so far.
Yes.
So Atlanta continuing struggling on that rotation. You saw it in the graphic as we were loading in. They are near the bottom of the league when it comes to rotation percentage on this map, and you can definitely see why. 134 to 61. A couple of kills just as our P1 reopens, and that should be enough for Atlanta to get some needed time.
Yeah, this is the opportunity now. If you can just maintain this side of the map, get a lot of this P1 time, keep LAG spawning so far away, so you can potentially chain that into this P2, but still a 60-point difference. Abizi holding on the water over extension. Everybody else from the Gorillas trying to attack through comms. Estri and Domicon, they're able to find two, so Atlanta FaZe got to work in the hard point again.
Yeah, stun out. Abizi gets locked into place on the staircase. Help arrives, though, in the form of Draza, who jumps back onto the hill itself. Fame still trying to wait for assistance from this LAG rebreak. Kill comes out of the player onto the hard point. Now it's down to, can you isolate Abizi? Not to happen with the pistol. Sullian from the high ground jumps into the hard point with that elimination, and Atlanta are getting to work, getting close to that 100-point threshold.
Yeah, this is exactly how you want to play it. Gonna put yourself slowly but surely down by 40 points going into this next hard point. And now you are fully set up for this P2. You know exactly where the Gorilla is going to spawn. You have Draza trying to be the cutoff aggressor in through top warehouse. Finds himself on 3 in a row. Just can't give LAG one opportunity, one set of kills to lead to a break. You need this time.
Well, you can see what the idea here is for FaZe. This is the third time we've seen them try to play through the middle of the map, maybe more so than around the back of these hard points. A couple of kills through mid, and now the awareness that LAG have spawned behind this hard point, but 30 seconds remaining, and still a lot of ground that needs to be covered here for LAG, especially considering there's a couple of split spawns. Now all of a sudden, if you're Atlanta, you're just trying to bunker up and see if you can win the rotation from 2 to 3. As LAG try to break, their lead also diminishing. We jump into a Gorillas listening to see if they can confirm the break.
They could be close lane.
Easy. Get out.
I'm going
Top up, I'm pretty sure.
Try help. Someone left quick.
I'm gonna get to the left as well. They could be in pipes, one of them. Take our time.
Yo, he's back left no, back left no.
Okay,
I don't think anyone's pipes. I'm getting out.
I can play
dead. I got one.
Top donated. I got you, I'm playing for him.
No, I don't see him.
I was
I
bottom
don't see
left.
Yo, on the pillar. I think he went to the deep right. Deep right dead.
I thought
Still living one shot.
Tin dead.
Nice, I'm dropped the clots. I'm dropped the
I'm not
clots.
blocking. I'm
right.
Lying down prone on the right. Draws up.
I am 1 HP.
One shot
bunker.
Play those.
I say
Just go hard.
Alright,
I'm going to get rid away.
Okay, bunker. I
I send your bottom. High right cow.
He's out west. 1 HP. 1 HP.
Deep left time.
I didn't block that. They're just on the back there.
Deep left time still on me. I'm trying to live.
Yeah, I spawned here.
I'm trying to hold 10. I'm trying to hold 10.
I'm top.
It could be under me 10. It could be under me 10. I'm just trying to live.
Did you?
That's under me 10. I'm gonna hold it.
1 HP glass.
I got one.
I hold
Another
10.
Two time.
I got you.
I got one glass.
I'm dead.
Block us
Okay,
one.
one more cell. Cell and hold. We're missing one.
I'm on top glass.
Actually, get set up here.
I'm going to get right. I'm going to get out ice.
I'll get bunker, then I'll get in a show.
I'm laying down front.
Two on me
I
glass.
need a bunker.
One's already out.
Bunker, yeah, I'm trying to get to
Top glass. 1 HP dead. I got one.
They could be long. They could be long.
1 HP top. 1 HP guys.
I have my long.
Nothing P5. Nothing P5 at all.
I went top glass on him.
He's hurt top glass.
Right here. Do you have my long?
Watching tiny
I
cross.
have long.
I have my
One
car.
top early.
I have my
Top
car
P2. One cross cat room. One P1 Jeep.
Cat room. Watch out.
Freaking. I can eat it. I'll eat it.
Play back left.
Live in the back. They're gonna try and break.
Yeah, I'm living bunker.
Deep long. Weak.
Just live.
Yo, low maze. One shot.
Just live.
Where?
He's P2 window.
I'm one.
I spawned here. I spawned back here.
He's weak.
I got stuck. One's long.
On me maze.
On you, maze. I can't see him.
He's like garage.
One more maze again.
Last too long.
That weak as shit long.
I'm still spawning glass. Yeah, we're blocking it.
I spawned in the back.
Got me out dead.
Going in.
Weak on that.
Oh, cat room cell. Yeah, he jumped out of old. He's just laying on a corner.
I got out P2. I'm gonna.
one.
You could be small.
Yeah, I'm trying to
One
pitch
top
glass.
glass, I think.
I'm pitching glass.
I ain't something. No, he's dead.
Well, the opening, not all that great for FaZe. LAG trying to reduce what was an onslaught of 3 hard points essentially in a row for Atlanta, but coming up a bit short here, and all those rotational woes that we were talking about for Atlanta starting to get remedied in the second set of hills, Jay.
Yeah, that was 3 in a row. P1 to P3, they won every single rotation. P4, they had the cruise missile to keep it mixy. Now you just want to try to flip these spawns here in this situation, because you know in a P5, you don't want to be spawning out towards warehouse. So a couple players from Atlanta FaZe are going to force that over extension, try to take a little bit of comms positioning, but if you are the Gorillas, you're going to be able to take the lead for now because Atlanta FaZe are so damn far from this new hill.
Yeah, really decent when it turns into, obviously the 2 to 3 rotation didn't go your way for LAG, but at least they kind of 50-50 P4, and now a majority of time, at least to this point, over the 5th hard point. But with only 13 seconds remaining, it's all about setting yourself up to try to get around this hard point and get to the left side of the minimap if you're LAG. Abizi working on top windows, sees Diamondcon for free, which to be fair, Diamondcon has been teeing off this map. So a good shutdown there as Atlanta will have the opportunity to step into the P1 again.
Yeah, and they can close out this game right here if they wanted to. Because they have all their bases covered. Eshu is going to be able to slip behind enemy lines. If you are the Gorillas, now you just don't want to work your way in towards top comms because you have to check every single corner on the Wabizi. Just trying to at least force this overextension out of Eshu. He's able to find one. That opens up the hill, and you have the numbers to effectively trade. A good break coming in from the Gorillas.
Yeah, a little 4v3 situation right now leads to maybe an opportunity where Estriel can try to hit a route over towards P2 with 30 seconds of the fight for, but Atlanta off the spawn. 3 straight eliminations right back into the hill of their own. They can get really close to putting the game away here. So a lot to ask for LAG to manage, and as BZ shuts down the top, Simp holds the back door. Ooh. Split spawn situation right now for LAG, but I'm sure Atlanta will be very aware of that, and it looks like a BZ is heading back over towards P2.
Yeah, but even if you're aware of it, you can't allow situations like that to happen. I understand everybody is one of the best slayers in the game. You can find your kills when you need to, but these little mistakes have been costing them on subbase all season long. Now, you're not going to have those stable spawns towards the back. LAG giving themselves another opportunity with the numbers over here at P2.
Yeah, super long routes have to be taken here for Atlanta. They stop at 242. LAG bunkering up. Couple of kills come their way. Solium through the middle of the map. Maybe a second towards Flames, but the Semtex takes him out of the picture. And with the shutdown on the long route, now all of a sudden Atlanta have to resort to just hitting this from the front.
They got to work, and they got to work quickly. And it might fall into the hands of Abizi, who potentially has found his way behind enemy lines, but you do have Estriel watching that positioning. Just hoping that his teammates can find a couple kills to the front so he can set up this break from the back, but that's 2 dead. Here goes the opportunity.
Yeah, but those 2 kills come from the backside, so LAG just reposition themselves inside the hard point. 245 to 242. LAG
oh my God.
It's just left the Simp on the high ground. Simp gets the double. Now the foot race back over. No trophy system here for Atlanta. Reinforcements jumping to the walls. Simp taken out by a team nade. Now it's just down to what Cell and Abizi do from the high ground, and Abizi gets a double. Still, need to get into the hard point, though, as we rotate back over, and Atlanta's going to get bailed out on the rotation. Wow, it got tight here around the second hard point, but the macro game steps up just what it needed to for Atlanta.
Yeah, I know you're smiling. You're feeling good. Finally, we see a W at the end of a sub-base HP. But if you play it like that, it's just never going to be easy for you. I know, obviously, we're going towards the later half of the year. We want to expand map pool. We want to get better at our worst maps, but just those little mistakes are going to continue to bite you. LAG just didn't capitalize on that moment. You allowed Abizi to at least open up that lane when he over that flank area to find that second kill on the Diamondcon. That allows the rest of Atlanta FaZe to bombard their way through the front after Simp finds a double.
Yeah.
But it's just like you're up 240 to 200. You have the spawns for next. You're finding every single kill in the feed. Someone just has to play a little bit safe for Atlanta. It cannot be that close, but they still get the job done.
Unreal stuff. It's one of those things like at the late stages, and we've seen this really all year long, where you kind of get in the mindset where sub-base is such a macro-based game when it comes to the map overall, trying to play for rotations, trying to cut off players at mid-map, kind of setting like a no man's land, that, hey, when the game gets to this point, you really can't afford to make decisions like that. You kind of have to play this of, is our gut check break from the front good enough? Like these long routes that you see, Draws and Abizi last 2 left, they're almost too far away. Like if this is 2 seconds more of time earned for LAG anywhere else, the game's over before they can even get there.
Yeah, if Sid doesn't find that double on the Estriel with him being absolutely one-shot, that's going to be a GG, but if you are Atlanta FaZe, at least you got the job done. If you are the Gorillas, you did everything you could in just the second half of that game. When it came down to the P1 to P3 chain and then the P4 contest with the cruise missile, just way too much for the Gorillas to handle. Just a little bit late. And a couple of those rotations come back to bite them, man. Remember what the Dust touched on it. Like the first 2 maps, we were thinking LAG had to at least take 1. But if you allow Atlanta FaZe to take the opening HP on a map like Subbase, 6-star, they have been playing in a majority of the series. They're only going to continue to improve. So it might be a weak map for them now, but LAG, in my opinion, needed that map number 1.
No, I absolutely agree. And I think the thing about it is, like you mentioned, not only is this a map that Atlanta hasn't played a ton, there's still some great results for them on the map. Their only losses, in fact, come to Miami, as well well as Toronto. That both happened at the major. So since they've been here back online, they've only played it once, and it was a round 10 winner versus New York. And I think the thing about it is, you mentioned this, and I think we could be kind of class examples of it because we had a couple of the games where Atlanta had played 6-star and we're like, whoa, this is very one-dimensional. But over the course of the last couple of weeks, you see them really starting to improve and add a little bit more variety into what their playbook looks like. Whereas for LAG, the 6-star, again, also not all that rehearsed or routine. 6-3 win versus Boston, which doesn't say much, and a 6-2 win versus Carolina, which also doesn't say that much. So it is kind of one of those, you have to win map number 2 now, and I think overall you got to win the 2-3-5.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, because obviously when you get to the later half of the series, Atlanta FaZe are, if not the best control team in the game, or one of the best. Then you have a Karachi hardpoint for that game number 4, which is a bread and butter for them. And then a little bit of a hiccup. If you get to that game 5 on the Karachi S&D, you just have to be able to force at least a game 4 here. This needs to be a W for the Gorillas. And where they need the shine is on their attacking rounds, because for some reason, Atlanta FaZe, they can get it done on their attack. But their defenses are one of the worst in the league. They have a 3-1 split. Sometimes they go 2-2, but they are awful at finding opening first bloods. They are awful in retake situations, so that's where you have that opportunity for the Gorillas to try to take this map too.
Yeah, there's a couple of exploits that we'll talk about as we get into the map in terms of where Atlanta has also still shown a couple of vulnerabilities, especially on this map in particular. This is their worst map when it comes to finding first bloods. That's the only real major standout that you look at compared to their other success on any other given map. They literally rank dead last in overall opening duel win percentage, whereas for every other map, they're at least in the top 5, and overall, they're still the best team in opening duels. So for Atlanta, it's not just trying to find a way to win this map, add it to potentially your pool, but can you also fundamentally just play it better in the first 30 to 45 seconds of each round?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that obviously you have players who are unbelievable in search and destroy. They all come from the S&D scene. Just have to try to figure it out on a map like 6-star, because adding this to your map pool can definitely make you a even more difficult opponent to try to take down. But it has to be on their defensive side, and we're going to go right into this round number 1 with Atlanta on defense.
Okay, see what happens here as LAG just going to hold back. We've seen this little high-low stack a couple of different times.
Yep.
Where you just make sure no one's pushing in towards the aquarium, and then you can make your move a little bit more delayed over towards this mid bar. Atlanta, though, to be fair, are kind of floating over towards this mid staircase, and Draza gets caught just trying to track backwards. So first blood good for LAG, and they have all intentions of planting the bomb here today.
Yeah, that A-bomb is completely open, so you can work that objective. The rest of Atlanta FaZe are double sacked over towards B. Now a BZ trying to at least catch a timing through mid connector. But he still does have that stun nade in his back pocket. It's just that bomb is not getting planted yet.
Yeah, waiting out the rest of the utility just a touch. LAG now making their call to get the bomb planted. Celium from this back curve. The rest of FaZe working on the long pinch, being watched by Estriel with a little bit of help from Flames nearby. And Cel's gonna have to wait for first contact to come through security before he can make his move. See if maybe this push can pull the attention of the LAG defense. Not to happen. Simp does find one trade. Nice first win from Celium as well. So now 2v2, 23 seconds on the clock though.
Don't really have a lot of time to work with, and at the same time, Fame already hits that rewrap. Catch that player in Celium, turns it into a 1v2 for Simp, and he is also going to fall. So the Gorilla successful on their attacking rounds, finding early first blood. Realizes that A-bomb is completely open. And then such a great heads-up play right there from Flames to know, all right, they're not showing presence through mid. They're not showing presence through their spawn. They have to be trying to at least buddy system through that flank area, and is able to at least catch one before falling. So the Gorilla is successful in that first round.
Other stats for all of you crazy COD nerds that are out there. LAG don't plant the bomb all that often on this map, but when they do, they are one of our top 3 overall post-plant win rate teams in search and destroy. That includes this map. Whereas on the other side, Atlanta, who's categorically great at retaking, cannot figure it out on this map at all. So again, talking about the first duels, talking about how the offense for LAG versus the defense of Atlanta could possibly be where LAG find their win condition. All of that coming true in round 1 as Atlanta look to possibly threaten this A site early.
And they're going to be a little bit slow as well, so they're not going to have any info of any players from the Gorillas at least playing close over towards the statue. So Estriel in a very, very good spot to contest this push coming in from Atlanta, but he is going to put down a couple shots. Simp finds the first blood. Estriel traded out, but Flames responds with 2. Still a 2v2.
We had Domicon around the back, though, turns the tides in favor of LAG. Celium, lots of space, lots of time to work with. Just comes down to what do you commit for? Do you try to wait for someone to rotate over your direction? Or do you try to set the clock into your favor and go for a plant? He looks like he's picking the former of the two options, and LAG are going to rewrap all the way backside security if they want to, trying to control the map as a duo.
Oh, yeah, and Selim is trying to get a read of what the setup is looking like from the Guerrillas, but the buddy system there just continuously wrapping the map. With only 18 seconds left, I don't know if he was able to spot the first player. Some really bad Call of Duty timing, but he should be able to work this A objective for free.
All right. Clock will reset for Selim to work with. DiamondCon going to take a little bit of a check. Does not see the exit, but may have an idea that Cell has moved this direction towards the outside Skybridge, and that seems to be the case. He's still on the hunt. Just double checking, making sure no one's down low. Nope, cleared it. Everything's all good. Cell will eventually have to check this bomb. Just comes down to when does he decide to do that? And it may be perfectly timed. Nade just to delay the peak. Flames hops on for the defuse. Cell with the check, finds the first shots cleanly, slips away. No kill confirmed yet. And DiamondCon is just gonna hop it again, knowing that Selim is low on HP, but off the regen, Cell comes back through with the pistol and wins the 1v2. Beautifully played by Cell.
I didn't even know Selim had movement like that in his bag. Like, that's great plays out of Cell to clutch up in the 1v2. He puts the bomb in a very good positioning to where as soon as someone tries to hop it, you have to stretch it out. And he's able to spot you through mid-connector, so he finds that first kill. And then just the movement. Is that Selim or Shotzi in that 2v1? Able to clutch it up for Atlanta to put one on the board.
Yeah, really well done. And just the gut check ice in the first place and not have to worry after he rewraps it the first time that they're not on yet. It's all good.
That's like S&D 101. If the guy puts you to one shot, and especially when you're underneath 20 seconds for that defuse to come in, you're instantly playing for that check.
Yeah, really well done. So 1-1 the count early. Atlanta looking to stack over through mid. LAG have gotten a decent read at this, though. Famed is looking to see if he can catch contact on anyone, which he does eventually find it easy, but not able to win the gunfight. Flames only can trade back one kill, leaving Estriel by himself. This would be a 1v3. Has himself a smoke to try to cover himself out, looking for a secondary challenge, but none to come, at least not as of yet, as we get a full 1v2.
And Atlanta FaZe are going to read this one wrong. So Estriel, it's your opportunity now with a free bomb plant this time around at this B site. Atlanta FaZe are not going to be able to spot him off of the exit, so they're just going to continuously try to wrap the map and see if they can catch Estriel.
Oh, he is setting this up with Rival 9. Keep that in the back of your mind. Checking to see if there's going to be a wrap through the offensive spawn. Not to be. It's all coming from the patio side. Estriel has not seen Cell up top on the waterfall, but he did get a look over towards at least somewhat what's happening over the top of the bomb. Here comes the check-in. Oh, Cell. Gunfight, which he's not going to lose at MCW. That's now 4 in a row for Cell. Defuse going to come through, no worries. And for one of the first times, Atlanta confirm a first blood, and with that, also convert the round.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. They found a first blood due to the aggression that they put through middle of the map. Like, whenever you see Atlanta on defense, they're always playing so slow, playing it super safe. Selim likes to camp back towards Skybridge, allow that bomb plant at A to go down for free. But when you're this kind of team, when you're a squad of this caliber, let's just send it. Like, let's just 4-hit up the middle of the map. Let's trade out, and that's exactly what they were able to do to secure that round. Now up 2-1.
Yeah, good stuff. And already turning around some of the early trends in terms of what we've seen in the numbers. So LAG now have to find some sort of a response. Can they provide on their next defense? And importantly, can you shut down Cell from getting closer and closer to a cruise missile? You don't anticipate him being in the mix early. He's usually that guy following up on the push, if not playing on a bit of an island. As Atlanta, no nonsense. Just going right on in towards A. BZ already committing for the plant. And Estriel, who's been seen by Cell, is just taking a couple of pot shots at him. And now all of a sudden the clock forces LAG to have to make a move. And Cell just holds down the trigger and confirms kill number 5. Simp also shuts down the flank. And Atlanta's quick plant looking good for them here in this 4v2.
Yeah, now in this 4v2, you just got to get the kill to Selim. Allow him to earn that cruise missile. You're still in the numbers advantage, even with a BZ falling. But with only 25 seconds left, LAG have their hands full. Selim's still going to gain the info onto DC, but has yet to go for that committed gunfight.
There's the information. Draza follows up in the pistol. Able to finish the kill, no worries there. So another quick round for Atlanta. Not just the first blood, but also the second. Everyone stays alive behind that as well, which may be the most important part of it, because let's be honest, often in these types of situations, quick gut check calls like this, yeah, you might get first blood, but it regularly gets traded back. Not here, not in the last 2 rounds for Atlanta.
Yeah, it was just a setup right there from Atlanta on that plant situation. You had a BZ working that objective. You also had, pretty sure, Draza watching over him, over towards that Skybridge side. So as soon as Flame tries to turn that corner, instantly put to one shot, and that allows Abizi to get out with his life. So Atlanta FaZe with 3 rounds in a row. A couple players working on some streaks, but none more important than selling him on 5.
Yeah. LAG cooking up frags, all of it headed over towards the A site. And it looks like they want to try to go a little bit quicker too. Deep stuns also being thrown. Yeah, that is everything in the toolkit for LAG.
Yep.
Late trophy system going to get placed, and Fame has to commit to planning this right now. They've got no ability to stall out or counter a hit here if you're Atlanta, just due to the fact that there's no more utility left.
There's not going to be any more utility in the back pockets of the Gorillas, but at least they still have those trophy systems to keep them alive at this objective. Now before we for a retake, have Atlanta FaZe improved on this because they are 10th overall on this map. Just going to rally the troops. Everyone going to head out through Sky Bridge.
Yeah, maybe one delayed play from Abizi.
Oh, I love this.
There first. A couple of shots are in, but now you got to get through the smoke. That's the issue. Abizi able to find one through mid-map. Simp jumps on and jumps for the hop. Cell on 5, shut down by DiamondCon. Estriel, he will pop up, find the second, and Simp can no longer hold for the defuse. So, I don't know. Smoke may have been a little bit shorter than intended, but regardless, LAG's post-plant holds strong.
Yeah, I like the play out of Atlanta. Like, let's try something different. A smoke grenade on your side of Skybridge, everyone pushing through that side. An unfortunate team kill, though, comes in from Simp. Just like if you're Atlanta on defense, you have players scouting over towards B. You have players scouting over towards mid. How long is it going to take you to gain the info that they're not showing presence on either side of this map? Just a little bit late every single time that bomb goes down today.
Yeah, it looked like that smoke was intended to go a little bit closer towards the staircase, though,
yeah,
too.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, so good idea, not fully executed. LAG say thank you very much, punish on the mistakes, which they've done very regularly against anyone in the league, and now find themselves just down 1 with a defense that's stacked right over through this mid bar, looking to see if there's going to be early intentions for Atlanta on A, but that's not the case. FaZe are just holding back and playing a 2-2 split.
Yeah, 2-2 split, gaining early info to see if LAG decide to be the aggressors on the defensive side. Smoke grenade instantly going to get me popped, and I don't know if Atlanta threw a couple attacks on this side of the map, because they spotted no one on the cross. They just threw everything. Unfortunately, not able to spot anyone, and now the rest of Atlanta FaZe have hit that aggression over towards B side. Objective getting planted.
A late trophy from Draza. You also have Simp working on a bit of an island, but he gets caught. So now you're in a 4v3 situation. Post plant. Still largely leaning towards poolside. Cell going to play this corner as he often does. And it's going to be a full wrap, at least for a couple of members for LAG, where Abizi's actually just tucked on the bar right here. I mean, this is a great spot to respond to this play on the flank, and he's going to catch even better timing. Damage is in. Estriel's down to a single bullet. Cell also catches one of the 2 players trying to hit from the front, and Atlanta's post plant coming to life. 14 seconds on the clock. DiamondCon's got to do something crazy, and well, he very well may. Has to decide if he needs to hop, and well, now he's just giving it up. A little bit too much time gone. A 4th kill does get at least earned, but for the moment, it is 4 rounds for Atlanta and still that 2-round cushion.
Yeah, and that play all comes down to Abizi catching the timing through Tiki. If he doesn't jump up and at least spot both players, obviously he gets one, but he also puts down a bunch of shots onto Estriel to keep him 1 shot, to not allow him to assist his teammates on those gunfights. Abizi, just the perfect timing. Secures that round right there for Atlanta FaZe. Back up 4-2. It's never a problem on their attacking side. It's just the defense. We got to be able to read these plays a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Well, once again, you've got LAG early eyes over towards A, but still trying to feel out this Atlanta defense. They do see Abizi over towards U-Haul. Not going to press the issue, as Estriel is the one responsible for holding on to that late U push. And it does go to 1-for-1. Still more action possibly underway here. And interesting, Estriel's going to take the long wrap around, which it's been scouted by Cell. Fame will use that information, say thank you very much. Can he get both? Yes, he can. Big double for Fame. Another bomb can start to make its move over towards A, but before the plant comes out, the kill comes through, and LAG quickly find their way back into the map.
That's 2 rounds in a row now where Atlanta FaZe aren't showing any presence over towards Statue. That has been the bomb site that has caused them problems, even if the objective isn't getting planted. Just you allow Estriel to find that first blood through that side, and then Fame, he takes control of Connector. He gets the early info because of what Estriel decides to do with that bomb. Push through the spawn of Atlanta FaZe, gives the info for his team, and then he's able to close out the round. So Fame has had a couple pop-off moments so far in this S&D.
Looking really nice. Have to find a way to go back-to-back rounds, though, in some form if you're LAG, and you'd love to do it sooner rather than later. And this time, it's a little bit of a curveball as all 4 members for the LAG defense immediately hit over towards mid, and now they're tracking back. Nades over towards the U-Haul here for Atlanta. A couple of pieces of utility still held on to, though, for the Gorillas, and Ibizi cannot commit for the plant. Stun starts to come through. Estriel takes back control of the statue, draws a tucked in a corner, does at least get 1 in return, so we stay 3v3, but the bomb is down, and you got a long route from Simp on the way.
Oh yeah, Simp is going to be the playmaker in this round for Atlanta FaZe. Is Estriel going to potentially catch him on the timing? Sort of getting a read at this one player working on this deep pinch, but Simp gets the better of him in that one-on-one. Now for the rest of the players on the Gorillas, you have to watch your front, you have to watch mid, and you also have to watch your back.
Well, Diamond Con from the backside of the Sky Bridge, only able to get 1. Flames by himself. Wait, Draza's just lurking away from the site. I don't know, but he was moving slow. But unfortunately, Flames does not predict Simp re-wrapping it through U-Haul. So FaZe continue to go back and forth in rounds, which puts them now on map 2 point.
It's just not easy. Like, these rounds are not easy on 6-star for Atlanta. That was an instant response there. Once that first blood comes in from the Gorillas, and I loved their play. They knew that the pressure was going to be on A. They wrapped back 2 players over towards Skybridge and then instantly invest that smoke through mid connector to find that first blood onto Ibizi. It's just the plays right there from Simp. The super deep route to win the one-on-one. Clutches up in the one-on-one to put them now at game point.
Yeah, a couple of empty first blood rounds for LAG, but remember both those rounds were off of very quick transactions.
Yeah.
And so now you've got Atlanta. Oh, this stun very well may land, and it does. Simp had pushed in, and Fame completely isolated. Can really do nothing. So now LAG down to a 3v4. But an open A site, we've seen this once before where, hey, maybe we get a chance to get this thing planted. And actually, a couple of push-throughs plus a flank. Cell may get a little bit caught off here. Shots are in. Semtex to create the space, but Flames from his left will be able to isolate and take this to a 3v3.
Yeah, and Cell should have been able to at least give all the info to his team. And every single player is in our spawn. So now we just have to cover both sites, and you have 2 players over towards A. Ibizi being the sole man over towards B. Can potentially catch the timing, but I love this play. Just a lot of play to come to you.
Well, the rotation from FaZe over towards the A site will have them a bit isolated, but Simp is just looking for intel, and that one cross is all he needs to see. Also, maybe some Flames jump through the window. Yep. Diamond Con, though, does get 1. And now an isolated 1v1 on the opposite side. Ibizi wins that, so 2v2 we go. The problem here for FaZe with 2 rival 9s in hand is how do you stop the potential player watching this post plant from top security? Thing is, there's no one there. Diamond Con had re-wrapped over through middle, so he gets the first. Simp backing off, breaks the glass, and he's going to take a secondary wrap through bar here. And Diamond Con, does he anticipate this? It's all about the timing here. The slide out. Simp finds the kill. 5 in a row for him. Plus, of course, plenty of time to get the defuse. And with that, the map for Atlanta.
He's here, he's there, he's every freaking where. Chris Lair, Mr. Simp, just always hitting a route. Like, that's just what he was able to do in the final couple of rounds. You saw that in the timing when he spots those players come through mid connector. Just the glass not being broken through that underground tunnel doesn't allow him to instantly make that play that he wanted to. But thankfully, Ibizi finds 1. He goes back to their side of the spawn on the jump up to take down Estriel. And he knew he had a lot of time to work with. And most likely, Diamond Con, he's not playing it from our spawn. He's not playing it from their top comms. He has to be through mid connector. So he hits the re-wrap with that Rival 9. And he's able to clutch another one-on-one for Atlanta FaZe to walk away with the 6-star in a 6-3 fashion. Now up 2-0 in the series.
Yeah, looking pretty clean, too. I mean, I think the biggest thing about it is we pointed to the biggest vulnerabilities for Atlanta. Their first blood percentage, not great. And then also on top of that, their retake percentage, not great. Both of those, I would say, at least early instances towards possibly being remedied. Plus also the little comeback effort, if you want to call it that, or at least staving off the throw in the sub-base hard point, has them up 2-0. High rights control, like you mentioned, it's not a bad map at all for LAG, but you are dealing with Atlanta, who ranks near the top of the league in control overall. So it's going to be an interesting battleground. Have to have it if you're LAG. For Atlanta, it's all been about trying to build on their map pool, looking to do it again with the high rise control. We come back on the backside of the break.
Upgrade your game with the Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League.
Scuff Gaming is doing an ultimate giveaway where you and a friend can win a chance to go to COD Champs this year. The giveaway includes 2 VIP tickets, travel expenses, and more. To enter, scan the QR code on the page or go to scuff.co/CDL and enter your email. Terms and conditions apply.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
Welcome out there, friends and family. We've got ourselves our first match here on Sunday. Atlanta squaring up against LAG. And in the first 2 maps, it was selected that FaZe would go and play sub-base, try to give it another go. Almost been capitulated and fall away from them. Not quite the case. And then the 6-star, which has not been a great rehearsal place for them, at least in terms of regular reps, looked a lot better. So now you've got FaZe up 2-0. LAG would have to find a reverse sweep. And keep in mind, points are very highly coveted for this Gorillas team, who's still outside the top 8.
Yeah, what did I say to that? 120 in the 11th spot overall. We got 3 teams tied at 130 right above them. So you want to try to sniff out a win, and you might have just lost your opportunity here because now you're going to Atlanta. FaZe's really good maps. They got the high-rise control, which is a bread and butter one for them. The only team that they lose to is the subliners. On the opposite side for LAG, this is their most played control map. This is their best control map with an overall record of 7-7. So you're feeling good. Defenses have been stellar, first and second on both sides, but Atlanta FaZe on their attacking side, they do not get outslayed. They're the second best when it comes to getting segments or just having success on that side of the map. And And then the opposing side for LAG, they are 8th overall. So you have to find some success in your attack, and it has to be through the kills. And that's going to be very difficult to do because Atlanta FaZe simply do not get outslayed.
Yeah, I mean, there is the good news, I think, for LAG that, like, at the moment, their best mode does seem to be control. They've been, you know, 50-50 or so, but lately, they've been great online on this map in particular. So there are some opportunities here for the Gorillas to try to get this to a 4th map. You wouldn't love the idea of being down 0-2, having to reverse phase where you have still 2 Karachis you have to play, especially the hard point. But hey, anything can happen. It starts right here, though, if you're LAG. Otherwise, for Atlanta, it very well may be finished here. We'll see how things go. It will be Atlanta on the defense first. LAG trying to sneak up mid-map. A stun does connect on a Fame, but he doesn't seem to care, and he's just going to get an early look at Draza and an early touch on the B zone with that.
Early touch on the B zone, but Abizi already works his way up to the map. He's able to find the one player watching across. He's able to find 2, and at the same time, Simp finds 2 of his own. So it needed to be a great start off, at least from the Gorillas, to give themselves an opportunity, but you're instantly put into this trap.
Yeah, I mean, Abizi just he runs through the B side of the map saying,
Yep.
Wait, no one's out here on the outer lane. Okay, thank you very much. Doesn't get too much damage done in terms of the lives, but the clock is important, and more so, the rest of FaZe can push up behind that. So only 2 kills to speak of so far in the first 45 seconds for LAG, and they're still having a tough time getting out of spawn.
Yeah, this is not fun. You're just not having a good time. If you want to know what Hells looks like, this is it. Especially playing against Atlanta FaZe, who are not going to give you a lot of opportunities. 27-20 in lives remaining with only 30 seconds left. LAG have nothing to show for it, but at least they have already worked their way out of their spawn. They just need to make this push count, and Celium takes down 2. Little body shots coming in, and that might just be the round.
Yeah, I mean, do we know what the lowest total kill count is on any particular attacking round of control? Because it may end, well, at 6. It's getting a little bit better here for LAG, but the clock is an issue. 12.6 on the clock. A chance to stop it with at least 1 member on at B, but Celium up and over. How you doing? No worries there. DiamondCon can only get 1 before he drops, and Estriel will have to try to stretch into the B zone. Cell's gonna have the read on this, and he's gonna get kill number 5. A 5-0 start, and only 9 kills on the round for LAG.
Yeah, it's just not the start that you wanted. It's not the momentum you wanted as well to try to potentially put the reverse sweep on the cards. But Atlanta FaZe is staying strong on defense. It's exactly what they do. They're the best team at doing it. They just don't allow any segments to get away from them. Now with Celium on 5 in a row, just needs 1 to earn himself the cruise, but that was the 2-piece right there that basically solidified this round, because now you know where the pressure's coming in over towards the B Street side. You have 2 players that are accounted for, the other 2 coming off the respawn. So Atlanta FaZe just getting it done exactly the way they've been doing it all season long.
Now trophy systems are earned. That'll be placed over towards this B-sided alley, with Atlanta trying to continue to throw nades back and forth, but same can be said for LAG. Trophy system keeping a lot of this B defense safe. Problem is, Abizi, who's kind of on a solo mission, bottom blue, he's gotten first blood. That's going to move the LAG defense around a little bit, and Celium's going to get really far forward and just hold this until he can find himself a free 6 kill for the cruise missile.
That's exactly what he's playing for. All he needs is 1, and potentially catch some good timing or some bad timing. Finally, he's going to line up the shots on the Fame. Spots the info onto DiamondCon. Another free 2-piece there for Celium. That leads to 3 dead in the feed, with Atlanta FaZe showing pressure on both points.
Yeah, both zones. That's not what you want to see if you're LAG. Clearance of B, though, does come quickly. It also happens before the first tick gets locked. Same can be said for FaZe stepping off voluntarily of the A zone. Still looking for eliminations to come through. Time becoming a bit of an issue here, though, for Atlanta. Abizi now on 5, looking to get a second cruise missile earned. Not gonna happen, and Flames through mid-map will push back the rest of the FaZe offense. Now just 33 seconds on the clock.
Okay, so now Atlanta FaZe got to work for it. They don't have a single segment completed either. But at least they do have somewhat B Street control. At the same time, you have players already contesting over towards A. So the game clock is going to be paused at 23 seconds. There's the rest of LG who are out of their spawn. You have to find a couple kills to not put yourself in that trap again.
Yeah, I mean, this is all well and good if you're Atlanta in terms of being able to outslay LAG, but the defense has not allowed FaZe to stay in the zones for very long at all. So now you're down to 12 seconds on the clock. Diamondcon shut down before he could deal with the first contestant over on the B zone, but Estriel picks up. Celium's still stuck in the corner. Gets Fame from up top on the helipad, but still, this is in pieces for Atlanta. LAG, one good set of kills. Could really see this round come to an end, but Diamondcon not in a spot to contest B. First tick gonna get locked in. He also gets crossed up, and with that, now the double stack is on looking for more ticks.
Oh, that's 3 dead in the feed already. So if you are Atlanta FaZe, let's get this double stack going here. But at the same time, let's get some progression over as well at A. 18-11 in lives remaining. Perfect time to call in that cruise missile to relieve that pressure on Sim. He's able to find a double, so who needs a cruise when he shoots like that? There goes the third kill. Segment set at B, time extended. 16-8 in lives.
Yeah, and this is just now going to go to the TDM that largely FaZe was playing in the first breakoff. Cell still only died once, by the way. 13-1. Estriel coming off spawn has been seen. Flames as well. Damage from Cell. Gets him kill number 6. Oh my. 14 playing 5. Now just down to no more respawns. 44 seconds on the clock, and Atlanta can just sit here and essentially shoot fish in a barrel.
Yeah, this guy's a 14-0 KD. Like 14 KD is insane. Already another cruise missile in the back pocket. Make it 15-1 on another 7 streak. Just hoping that your teammates can stop the game clock at a pause, but there's only 2 lives remaining. This is GG.
Well, Flames trying to come back through to contest the one player on the zone. Like you mentioned, the clock was their biggest ally. Diamondcon trying to get it done by himself, but no, not going to happen. Atlanta will get, what, 5 ticks of progress, plus, of course, the offensive round win. Oh, boy. Absolute massacre here on high-rise control, mostly from that guy you just saw. Zelium just going out of control.
Yeah, that's what makes them so impossible to try to play on this map, because every single time you're thinking, all right, we got 3 dead in the feed, time is going to continue to dwindle down, but then that one set of kills that Atlanta FaZe find off of the respawn is just enough to put you in a trap on your defensive side, keep pull points scattered, so you're forcing the players on the defense to split every single time, and Atlanta FaZe are just ISOing these gunfights, winning a couple clutch ones with Simp finding a double at A. Just very, very easy for Atlanta FaZe when they're playing like this all around the map.
Here's that same route from Abizi. This time, there are a couple of Gorillas that are going to be contesting this B lane, but Abizi with dead silence on. Just going to wait to see where the next bit of contact's going to come from. And there it is. Flames will drop, and now Abizi can get to work once again, right in your spawn windows. But Estriel goes from 1 to the second very nicely, and with that actually gets Diamondcon onto the B zone. So decent moment here for LAG. Gonna call out the cruise if you're selling, just seeing what you can not just take off the point, but can you find the kills to get Atlanta's defense back into control.
Probably won't find a kill, but at least allows his teammates to now work up the map. Just have to get it done with the gunny. Simp's able to find one, draws it there for the trade. Estriel with a double. Finds himself on 4 in a row. First segment about to be complete at B. And now you no longer have to worry about any more cruise missiles. You just got to worry about selling him in the back of your spawn.
Indeed the case. Diamondcon only gets 1 in the defensive spawn before dropping. Also the counter of the FaZe member towards your spawn. So things working out nicely here as Estriel finds himself on 5 in a row. 15-14, stuns coming through. Trophy system has been denied. Draws a low, but it's all the FaZe utility that keeps Estriel uncomfortable, and his cruise missile does get shut down, but still, Gorilla's on the point. Life lead, looking like an extra 6 he's going to come through for him.
Yeah, time's going to get extended. Now, if you are Atlanta FaZe, you have to find a couple kills to exit your spawn, because all the map control is in favor of the Gorillas. Game clock now at a pause. Estriel was not able to earn himself that cruise missile, but this is exactly how you wanted to come on and respond if you want the Gorillas to potentially take this attacking round.
Yeah, Estriel also not able to earn up the very coveted trophy system, as once again he was completely bombarded by stuns, Semtexes, frag grenades, the whole 9 yards. Draza also takes 1 down through mid-map over toward the B zone, so now Atlanta can purely focus their intentions to see where exactly this next Gorilla hit's coming from, which, to be fair, it's all from the front. That's the
3 dead
that Atlanta is actually not prepared for. So now you've got 4 dead. Simp from across the windows able to catch 1, but you've got 2 members on, make it 3 now for LAG. Fresh trophy systems are placed all over the place. Fame Diamondcon, last 2 left. Stuns and nades starting to land. Fame down low, and that will be enough to clear the zone and possibly get some depletion here, especially as Flames drops.
Yeah, now this is a scary situation because you give up all the map control to Atlanta FaZe. It was a nice little life lead in favor of the Gorillas, but Atlanta, with 2 4 deads cleanly, put themselves back in the advantage. A minute left. Just gotta basically turn this into TDM, but they have all the map control to go with it.
Just like that. it swings back into your face so quickly. LAG missing an opportunity to counteract at least one of the offensive rounds, and now it's a 7v5. Plenty of time on the clock. Don't have to rush here if you're the Gorillas. And Cell continues to just find every single angle and make good use of it. Tags into fame. Gorilla's gonna just shrug that off, get themselves set up, but Simp is now all of a sudden behind you, and as soon as this hit unfolds, he is gonna be right immediately on your flank.
Oh yeah, and you have to make this push count because it's gonna be no more respawns. Once Simp finds one, he's able to find two. Now only one player coming off the respawn. Simp should put himself in a position to play for that spawn kill. You gotta expect it. It's just Chris Lair, he's everywhere, just not in that gunfight versus Diamond Con, able to win it. But this is a GG.
Yeah. Tough scenes for LAG, tough scenes for Flames in particular. 9 and 21 map, not great news, but really, what do you say? I mean, you only had 9 total kills if you're LAG on your first round. Then all of a sudden, you nearly keep FaZe completely off the zones on their first offensive attempt, but one perfect stretch of kills turns into the extra 60 seconds, and then, of course, the life lead becomes immeasurable. And then, of course, round 3, we kind of saw that unfold. LAG fractions away from being able to live out that entire A capture, but the trophy system changes continue to plague squads, especially when it comes to trying to stay alive as a squad on those zones when you're stacked up.
Yeah, and I think off this series, Atlanta FaZe only dominated on this map number 3. LAG gave themselves a lot of opportunities in that opening sub base. Even with the flip spawns that Atlanta FaZe blessed them with, they could still not capitalize on that moment. 3-point game. And then when you get to the search and destroy, there was a bunch of rounds where they had the numbers, a bunch of rounds where they turned it into 1v1s. If you allow Sim to at least trade, go 1-1, not 2-0 on those 1v1s, you still will be alive and potentially have taken that search and destroy. It's just a bunch of clutch plays every single time for Atlanta FaZe so far throughout this stage. Did it in map number 1, did it in map number 2, and then map number 3 was a cakewalk as they close out this series in 3. They continue to be undefeated.